Hello. So today is going to be a bit of a different video. I'm just going to do a count review for Epic 7. So for reference, um, let's see. I am, I guess, the
Scream
equivalent
for
of
me.
Diamond in this game, in League of Legends. So
No
I am
salvation for
a
the
challenger.
unprepared.
That's what they call it here. Not not that great. I don't really draft that well, but I am kind of confident in some of my gears. So that probably lets me like have such a nice win rate. Oh well, it's not too nice, but it's like above 50%. So anyways, yeah, so I guess I'll like try to like label it. Let's just start with like, yeah, fire units. So Benimaru, I've only picked this guy like once or twice, I'm pretty sure. Um, yeah, let's see. My Benimaru is on speed and crit. If I have more slates, I will eventually get the cap of 100 here. Um, Basically, I have him on the Tai Yu artifact for him to like push up. Uh, I don't know if it's like that great. I don't really know if this character is that great either. But he's like standard DPS built, like 3k-ish attack, 250 more like crit damage, whatever. A 240 speed with the cutting kind of helps. I think most enemies will see like you pick this character and they'll just like not use their non-attack skills or extra turn skills, whatever it's called. Yeah, extra turns. So I don't know if it's worth picking this character, but yeah. So here are some of the gear scores. Um, yeah, that one's pretty insane. But in terms of using this character, he's very niche. I'd say like you would probably want to pick him like fourth or fifth pick, if at all. Moving on, we have Winter here. I have her on the increased effectiveness artifact. Just random chance of debuffs, just to make it so it's like at least I have 100 effectiveness. Probably want a bit more. Honestly, if I could, I would try to make it like about 150 effectiveness, because like that would allow me to like for sure get um, some DPS units like locked down and stuff. Winter. I've used Winter like maybe like also again like once or twice. You want to use Winter whenever they use like a non-attack skill. I could have maybe swapped different artifacts. I don't really know the build. Oops. But yeah, she's generally there for the 2-turn stun. Also there to like for fixed damage or true damage, whatever. It's pretty great to be honest. I could probably upgrade this to have a better effect chance. Um, but yeah, use this character if there's like some single, like, if they're running like maybe 1 DPS and you just need to stun that DPS. Uh, I wish I did have more speed, more effectiveness on her, but it is what it is. She's a bit tanky. And yeah, um, let's see. I don't use this unit, hunt unit. I unfortunately only used this in PvE. I've not used Edward at all this season. Have not used Holiday Euphine. Hua Young. Okay, so this is one of my favorite units to use. I didn't really use her that much this season either. But anyway, so this is the build on her. Because of the whole like nerf to Huayong, I did change her artifact from like Uberius Tooth to Little Queen's Huge Crown. So it does extra damage to enemies that are granted a barrier. I opted to go with a torrent set as well to improve her damage because she already pens anyways. And she wants, well, I can't remember if she wants low health anymore. But like, mainly, no. She wants to be S3 characters with no attack, so like, defense scalers or HP bruisers. And then like, she kind of chunks them for a bit. So for example, you can like bring her into Arrowell, and hopefully she's like faster, so she can just like kind of rip the S3 right off the bat. Bring her into Bellion, bring her into AU Fiend if you want to like proc as Holy Sack. Yeah, just like HP and defense scalers. You can try to bring her into like Blood Moon Haste. Surprisingly, because she doesn't crit, her S1 is actually pretty decent against units like Soline or like just characters that like a Moonlight Ken, for example. I might have picked her against Moonlight Ken. Also, because it's like additional damage, you kind of do well against characters with like damage limit, like Moonlight Gala, or not Moonlight, just Lilius, Gala, Lilius, whatever, and yeah, Soline, units like those, like Shaltir. Moving on, let's see, Jacko. I did not use her this season. So Ravi I've used a little bit. They did buff Ravi. I'm sure there's a better build out there. For this, like, you most likely want to have either the 1 or 2 slots, because this improves your counterattack damage then, or this just amps up your like 1v9 potential. I have it on stun because, well, I just it's called, I mean, this is what I had before the buff, and I just never changed it. So as for her gears, I don't think you really need crit chance. I'm pretty sure she just like auto crits. You do want a decent amount of health though, because her, oh yeah, this gear like is pretty nice as well. Yeah, you want a decent amount of health because she works with health now, in the sense that like she gains yeah, attack proportional to the caster's max health, and even if she's injured, she can still like kind of rock that attack stat. And she also has built-in dispel, which is only once per turn, but it's not bad. Yeah, she's one of my first units I've ever like pulled, so I do try to use her, and it's pretty nice buff overall. Moving on, we have Shaltir. I used her a little bit. As you can see, it's not fully maxed out. I just need 1 imprint. If I do have a slate, maybe. What is this? Well, maybe I'll save the slate just in case, because I don't use her that often. But yeah, if I did, it'd be fully imprinted, or like I'd have my crit chance maxed out. Let's see. So Shaltir, she works kind of like a Huayong in a sense, where like she needs the attack differential to kind of like remove, to strip and to like hit them pretty hard. I have her on pen set as well, just in case. Let's see, this one is increased single attack damage and life steals. Yeah, so, excuse me, her main niche or whatever is to She gains 100% crit chance, ignores ER, and strips them. So you can use this character against like characters that have like are really buff heavy. Let's see, if they ever pick Maid Chloe, you can pick Shaltir against Maid Chloe to strip the S3 if they rip the S3. Let's see, it's honestly just I don't know really when to pick Shaltir, but she does have injury as well, so you maybe can like pick her into Blood Moon, and she is kind of stealthed, I believe. Yeah, as long as she has like 60% more HP, she's stealthed. Yeah, basically just there to like beat up like bruisers and defense scalers, so doesn't do too bad overall. Probably really good into Arya as well because there's crit hit chance as well as like stripping her buff if she is ever picked. Moving on, yeah, PvE. PvE, I think. Charlotte. So I've picked Charlotte a little bit. As you can see, her gear isn't even like maxed out. This is like when I was more newer to the game. I just kind of like slapped on like whatever I had. And whatever I had was actually pretty good back then, I'd say. Eventually I'll probably like upgrade her more. Yeah, because there are clear upgrades in terms of like the purple gear. Yeah, and she's, funny enough, she is my symbol holder. Symbol is a very strong artifact that like gets passed around to like important DPS units, and I just kind of like have it lying on Charlotte. Her main thing is after being hit, she gains a bit of combat readiness, but she gains these two buffs: attack, increased defense. Like she becomes a bit more tanky. Her S1 becomes a AoE if she is buffed, which is why I have her on immunity set. So she starts off being buffed, like if people try to avoid hitting her. Her main weakness is a huge lack of like I guess like buff block for sure is one main weakness. Yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, she's like forced to AoE sometimes, which isn't a good thing against some characters. And yeah. I mean, maybe for future upgrades, I would like her to have a bit more crit damage. The bulk, maybe like 15 to 16k would be good. Attack is fine. Crit damage is probably what's needed, to be honest, because she auto crits as well. Anyways, did not use this season, and mine is not that great. Kayron. Okay, so my Kayron is on double-edged decrescent. Increases evasion. Increases damage on his S1. I have him on counter ER because it's like he's just there to be very annoying. I pick him against like cleave mainly, I would say. Let's see. What are other notables about him? I mean, like I have him like triple S. He has 4k attack, which is pretty decent. Yeah, so basically his whole shtick is like when he's about to die, he turns immortal, and then he just kind of like you just pray that your S3 kills to extend the buff duration. And because he's slow as balls, he just kind of like RNG Casino's counterattacks that are AoE, I believe, if he is hit. If the caster has a buff, it changes to an AoE. So it's like Charlotte. Yeah, so because I have this amount of ER, I'm safe to put him up against like some characters as long as we don't have like ignore ER. What you can do is you can skimp out on the ER actually. You can just like go full on damage. Like maybe a torrent set. Have no ER. And that limits his like pick potential, but whenever he's picked, he's like very effective. Yeah, so there are like generally two builds that you could do, I guess. Like you have this ER build, quote unquote ER build, or you can have like just pick him in a more niche scenario against like characters that don't really have like unable to be buffed, or as long as they don't have any debuffs, you pick him there, and you can kind of pop off. Moving on, I haven't used Summer Seria this season. Mercedes I've used like maybe once or twice. So my Mercedes is on her artifact. Okay, so there is a chance that my thing procs. Oh. Okay, so a few times I picked Mercedes, I didn't get the counterattack, so I was like kind of confused. So they did change her a bit. When the caster is granted increased attack, grants an extra attack with this. Yeah, so she kind of works like a revive unit. She kind of like pops off sometimes. But in this season, for me, whenever I picked her, she did not do much. So she is kind of like a scam unit, I guess. Really reliant on, at least the way that I used her, on RNG. As you can see, the build doesn't look like a regular normal build. See, I have her on Injury and Unity. And basically, I would want to use her against like just HP bruiser units. Like I tried using Mercedes against Blood Moon Haste. In theory, it should be decent. I mean, I have like Injury a bit. I have like double attacks with this, which would proc Injury even more. But every time I hit Blood Moon Haste, he just kind of counters me, and I just die right after with his extra attack. So overall, like, I mean, it could be better, but I like this niche build. Too bad I couldn't use her that often. Millum. So I have her on her own artifact, just a chance to counterattack. Increases the lifesteal effect. On her S1 is what I have. There could be different ones that you want, like you could maybe want the increased damage on the S2, or if you want, you can like, if you're cleaving, maybe you can get the S3, just to get like your S2 proc faster. But anyways, this is my build. I'm trying to build her like, as you can see, lower speed. I don't know why, maybe a bit of ER or whatever. Oops. Yeah, so the build idea is like she rips S3 at the start, she gets her evasion buff, and she just starts spamming counters. And then like if she gets the proc counters, she gets to rip her S2, which does like AoE damage, I believe. And it removes 10 souls. 10 souls in RTA is very important, I'd say. That's like what, it's about like on average like 3 or 4 turns. You're kind of like getting rid of 3 or 4 turns of like progress on the enemy side to soul burn your units and stuff. The one unit, or the one game that I did bring her in, I did not use her S3. I still remember it. Huge misplay on my part. And yeah, moving on. We have Politis over here. I have her on a damage build. So her whole shtick is like, you pick her against like Seaside Politis or like other non-attack skills units. And then she procs her S2, which does like some damage. I built her damage because I was hoping I could like kind of pop Janua, like pop his immortality, but it's not been working out so well. Yeah, there are different builds. Like I could have went degen Politis, just get like maybe book with high effectiveness, high tank stats, and just start spamming stuns. Cannot be buffed is pretty decent. Like pretty good against Janua as well, but I just don't do too well against Janua in general. Yeah, I only picked her like maybe once or twice with, I think with Celine as well. Carrot. Maybe I picked her once. I mean, it's just the generic Carrot build where she's kind of tanky. Her S3 like strips. So then like you kind of want to like soul burn S3. You pray that you land a bunch of like burns, and you kind of like pop them. So I kind of like using Carrot against like characters like Candy, or just like evasion units or anti-crit, because you're mainly just trying to land debuffs on them and just trying to pop them that way. I mean, I guess I could increase her attack with this, so could try doing that next time. Overall, not too great right now, I'd say. Laya exists. Like, you can't rip S3. I mean, you can if you have the soul burn. And you can try to pop units, but like otherwise, it just feels bad. Let's see. Did not use, only for Rift. Did not use. Did not use. Did not use. I think that is it for fire units, so now we can move on to the water units. Karina, my beloved. I have her on her own artifact, Rocket Punch. When she first came out, I saw that artifact and I saw additional damage, and I was just like, oh, she could be like Blue Hua Young. And then it turns out she actually was like Blue Hua Young. So you can see that I have like speed gear. I have a broken set as well, mainly because these two, like this gives me a bunch of defense and speed, and then this is just like a bunch of defense as well. As you can see, like flat defense with this, which is why I'm at like 3,000 defense. A decent amount of ER as well. Like, not a lot, but like, if a DPS unit hits me, I'm probably not getting debuffed by them. Very good against evasion units because, like Aiden or Candy, because you don't even have to hit them. You can just hit someone else and your S3 just like does AoE damage at like procs, and yeah, deals additional damage to the caster's defense. Pretty strong overall. And I think she does oh wait, never mind. She doesn't do like defense differential like what like Shaltir does with attack. But overall, she's a very good unit, I'd say. She's not like first pick, I realize, this season, but I would still pick her like I'd say decently often. Or maybe not often, but like an okay amount. Lua, did not use her. Mid, just mid in general, I didn't use her. Shu, I'm wondering if I used her, but she is missing an artifact because I took her artifact and put it on Wukong for Rift. I mean, my Shu is like pretty decent, I'd say, but I haven't used her this season. Leafy. So I used her once or twice. Maxwell artifact. I bottled the crap out of that. Yeah, so this one I opted for higher damage, just so like if I get injured I can do a bit more damage. That was my thought process. Hold on. Okay, now I'm back. Right. Yeah, so what was I saying? Let's see. I do think the S3 one is probably the best, because you're mainly using her against Candy because she does like fixed damage, true damage as I call it. Yeah, and you don't want to get like counterattacked by Candy when you're like S3ing them, or like getting the 3 stacks of Omen. So as you can see, my Leafy compared to like other Leafies isn't that great. Generally, I would say you want to hit around 270 speed. I'm at 240, basically. 270 speed with like 25k HP is perfect. I have 27, 28. I opted for a bit higher damage. But yeah, she really does need the speed, because you need 3 stacks for them to like to pop off. And this having like a free soul burn at the start of the battle is like pretty useful. I wonder if this stacks a Frida with new units. That'd be interesting. And yeah, I could probably upgrade that as well. But yeah, anyways, I guess I'll start moving on now. Luna did not use Rem. Okay, so I did use Rem a bit. She generally underperformed, but she did do her job, like in the sense that they focused on Rem just so that she couldn't proc her passive. Funny enough, I think I did use her in my very last game, because yeah, she's just a for fun unit. You know, she's casino RNG. She used to be really good back then, but now she's like kind of mid. Bulk wise, it's like okay. You probably want more bulk. Just more bulk or more attack. Crit damage is pretty nice, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah, moving on, I guess. Didn't use. Breek didn't use. Crowd didn't use. I don't think I used her. I don't think I used Kisei. Didn't use. Didn't use. Didn't use Riza. Nope. Don't think I used Seaside either. Don't think I used Arya. Pretty sure I didn't use Dizzy. Nope, didn't use that, didn't use that. Nope. A Momo, I don't think I used her. DN. I think I used her like once, maybe once or twice. I have this. I think the S3, or like, sorry, the EE3 is the best CR push. Some people use DN as a like pusher, So we'll have her like super fast, like 280 speeds. She's cycling like crazy, spamming heals with her artifact as she's like using these non-attack skills and like buffing her team, cleansing them. Mine is like kind of mid, but she's just there as like a slow anchor healer. Amelia, I might have used once. She's on her own artifact. Yeah, she's just on the regular like speed ER, I guess. She's not too fast, I'd say. She has decent ER though, decent health. You probably want her at 260 speed. And then it just goes on to like characters I've not used. Okay. Move on to Broccoli. My Runka's terrible. Don't even look at this. Okay, so we have Laya here. Laya, I slated her, or bookmark, or what's it called? Bottled her artifact, slated her. In fact, I should probably slate this character over over the other character, because she is still a top tier unit. She is extremely broken. I have her on speed and HP, as you can see, about 240 speed. Not the fastest. I would like her to be 250, 260. Her HP is like pretty decent. This piece was pretty insane for me. And yeah, like decent bulk. Her main job is just to like S2, cleanse your entire team, push them up for free, basically. Like, what is this? 25% push and cleanse. This is better DN. And you decrease skill cooldowns of all allies. So it's like if you're up against Nakhol, you just do this, like bam, you're good. And this S3 hurts so much. It's so disgusting. This character's insane. Moving on. Alencia. So I did use Alencia like maybe once or twice. She's there to like injure units. I have her on Edward's artifact. I have her on the healing one. What is trample? What the hell's that? Oh. Wow, wait. I could have been using trample, huh? Anyways. I'd say it's either E1 or 2 would be your go-tos. I went with E1 because I'm on injury and I just want her to like sustain a bit. Maybe that's a mistake because she does not get that many turns because I'm so slow. I'm only like sitting at 200 speed-ish, 195, closer to that. I have her on injury pen as well, so she is ready to injure people. If I get more bottles, I'll try to like bottle the Edward Elric artifact for her. She procs extra attacks, which is a good and bad thing. Works well with the artifact, I'd say. Kind of makes up for a bit of my speed. I could probably lower my crit chance as well if I'm running this artifact because it gives me innate 10. Yeah, I could probably do that. Gives me 6 crit damage as well. Up to 4 times. Rift unit. Didn't use. Rimuru. Using Rem's artifact just to what's it called? Increases crit chance to 100%, and he gets pushed up if someone dies. Yeah, when anyone dies, whether it's an ally or an enemy. I have him on revenge because like sometimes he's like, okay, I'm not gonna say he's tanky, but he's like a little bit bulky to the point where he can survive sometimes, and that does kind of like make him zoom. Yeah. So I have him on Revenge as well because of that, which is kind of funny. He's more of a meme build, but he works sometimes. Rimuru is still a decently strong unit, or not strong unit, but a limited unit, so he does have some pay-to-win aspects to him. Like, stealing and copying buffs is kind of insane. 10k true damage if he hits is insane. If you have a bunch of buffs. And you generally do because you just steal like a bunch of buffs anyways. Moving on, didn't use the Hawk. Didn't use my Albedo. Didn't use Mort. I used him without an artifact? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Wow. I used him in one injury battle, I'm pretty sure. I remember this. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, how did I win that? Let's see, I have EE number 2, increased duration on crit resistance. I think that's just there to be annoying. You probably want... Any of these are decent, I'd say. If you're on counter, you want the EE number 1. Otherwise, EE 2 and 3 are probably your best bet. I have him on injury. Injury immunity, I guess. Once I get some more Mort copies, I can hit 100 crit on him. I think I would probably want to run an extra Lethe artifact if I had the opportunity to. Otherwise, I guess this is just fine. You just generally want to max out your passives on some characters if you don't have enough molas. Because passives are effective like right off the bat, like generally. Or like probably the best thing to upgrade anyways. Unless it's Kayron. But yeah, this is pretty sad. Moving on. Didn't use. Don't think I used Ludica. She's on her own artifact. Artie. Basically a speed build. She's there just to like give skill null as well as just like proc her debuffs under S2. Works pretty well against or with any debuffers because she procs your S2 like that. I like using her with Moonlight Poultice because she does reduce speed and she does have a speed differential S3 where let's see, when the caster speed is greater than the target speed, you can pen up to 100% of their defense. And she's like max health dependent, so generally she's just doing about like 17k to candy, I'd say. Moving on, I have Celine here. She's on her own artifact. So generally I think EE number 2 is better. But EE number 1, I guess, stuns, which is kind of funny. Yeah, just a random RNG stun. I have her on Revenge and Penetration. So the Revenge is kind of like a meme for me. I had some decent Revenge gear, so I was like, okay, I might as well just put it on the unit, and I just happened to put it on Celine. It'd be nice if I got 100 crit, but it is what it is. Decent damage stats overall. Speed could be a bit better, but she's there to like kind of take up a ban slot because she's so annoying. She does like make people hold their S3s. Alright, moving on to Gala here. I don't really have a great build on her. I have RNL, and I have a counter ER build. Quote unquote ER. I've used Gala in one game where she was actually very effective, and she counted like crazy, but the other game she just kind of like gets Zeo'd S3, she gets silenced, she gets stripped, she dies. Yeah, nothing much to say. She's RNG build. You probably want her on the speed damage build with Torrent set, because she needs to be lower HP. And you want to bring her against like Moonlight Senya, so she can one-shot them. I'd say if I had these damage stats with 270 speed, that'd be okay. Decent to use her with. Moving on, didn't use Violet. I used him like once. He didn't really perform, if I remember correctly. Oh, right, my gear. I'm supposed to have him at 85. Ooh, yeah, that's probably why he didn't perform. Nothing much to say about Violet, to be honest. Didn't use. Okay, Lulu car. She's on her own artifact. Pretty decent character overall. She's on speed defense for me. I did use her in tandem with AU Fiend. And she did perform sometimes. It's like you're using her to like dispel buffs, right? That's basically it, and to like kind of proc this silence and decrease hit chance if they use non-attack skills. Decent unit overall. Rowana, I don't think I used her. Oops. Okay, moving on to light units. Candy. A standard Candy, like, counter with some bulk. I have her on 16k HP. I think 16, 17, 18k is probably like your ideal HP range, which is what I have. Defense could be okay. Damage stats are like okay as well. Really just a casino unit. Anyways, my boy, Twisted Island, Eidolon, Kayron. Using the Gala's artifact, 200 ER with it. I invested a lot of gear from what I remember. Like I tried to build him like really well with Lifesteal ER. His main thing is like he is there to kind of spam counterattacks and hopefully like be an anchor. I don't have him like that strong. If I have more Kayrons, I could maybe like start dumping them into him, just to hit that crit chance. Defensive stats, he's a thief, so his defense is really low. If I could, I would like him to be more tanky, but for now he is running like the maximum amount of stats, I'd say. He did perform once, I think. I didn't properly use him though. I didn't like pop the S3 when he was about to die, which I should have. It does like fixed damage depending on like how much fighting spirit you have. And he does get more tanky when this is available, so I guess there's that. Moving on, didn't use. I am working on her. Sea Lilius. Just a standard Sea Lilius. Around 280 speed. Depending on your speed, it's easier for you to hit like different arena brackets. So I'd say like if you're masters, you probably have like a 240 to 260 C Lilius. Masters and above, you want 270 plus. So that's like a general like speed range. I think champion, you probably want a 295 C Lilius plus. And yeah, didn't you really use her compared to Seaside Poultice, but she's still sometimes used, I believe. Sermia on Golden Rose. I did have a bunch of Sermias, and I just kind of like slapped them onto her. Remember, you can use her like RGB variant to like imprint. And I didn't really use Sermia like that much, only for like expos. So I just kind of slammed it all into her, and she like performs sometimes. She's getting her skin, so we're doing it for her, right? Yeah, can't wait to use a skin, to be honest. Little Queen Charlotte. I used her once or twice, I believe. She's on a 3-set build, pen crit immunity. Nothing much to say about her. She's just there to execute dark units like AU Fiend, I'd say. If she even gets a turn to do it. She can pop off. Yeah, this Hellcutter kind of like fixes her crit chance and attack as well. Just to make sure she pops people. A Tywin. Toxic unit this season. Works very well with Seaside Poultice. It's so disgusting, to be honest. I used him here and there. I stopped using him later on in the season because I didn't really know how to like properly draft him. I don't even know what he does really. It's hard to remember sometimes, even though he's like top tier and stuff. Yeah, ignore ER. This is so toxic. Like, it's so disgusting why that works. But yeah, very good character. You probably picked this character in this season. Okay, moving on to Mybellion. So, you can see something is wrong with Mybellion right off the bat, in that she is using Torrent Set. The reason why I'm using Torrent Set is because, I will show you right here, 41% HP, 38% HP. Like, yes, she's only at 24k HP, but that's after the Torrent Set, which is insane. Crit chance is at 50%. It's there to be at 50 because she sometimes like gets her own increased crit chance, as well as like sometimes you don't always want to crit units. Let's see. And because she's like AoE on both of her skills, having Torrent Set isn't too bad. Is it good? Probably not. Is it a meme? Yes, and I've used this meme like once or twice in my RTA journey. Here she is, the Queen, Moonlight Senya. I'm working on bottles for 3F. I have her on a counter set. I've seen Moonlight Senyas with 35k HP, 40k HP. Senya wishes that she could do that. I don't think she needs crit chance either, which is kind of sad. Eventually I'll probably fix her up. Maybe I'll get more Senyas as well to pop in here. Pretty good unit overall. She is top tier this season. Dies to Gala. At least mine did. So be wary about that. She's gonna be toxic later, I think. Having pen resist is pretty strong. Probably only use as mitigation, to be honest. Maybe she isn't gonna be toxic. I don't know. I'm not like that great of a player, so don't take my word. Arrow wall. I think I used her once. Just a standard arrow wall. Like, you want her to be decent speed, decent bulk, decent ER, and she kind of fits the bill for me. Nothing much to say about her. Aiden. She is on her own artifact. Let's see. She's on lifesteal. She's on a bit like slightly bulky. Most Aidens are like 8k, 9k HP. She's 11k for me. And that's because I have her on the lifesteal build. Generally you want like 13k just because you have evasion cheese. And you have 13k HP to work with to like lifesteal it all back. Because of a pen as well, she like deals some decent damage. Pretty good character, I'd say. Moving on. Spez. Also on Double Edge Decrescent. I have him on a lifesteal build. Pretty RNG unit. I have him on pen because like I do want to rip the S3 sometimes. And your S3 does reset if you get a kill, I'm pretty sure. Resetting the cooldown for a skill when the enemy is defeated. Yo. So if you use on like a half HP unit, he's generally just gonna like pop them. It's like decent stats, I'd say. Increases defense, or Pen's defense by 30%. Plus 15, so that's 45 if it works like additively, multiplicatively, I'm not too sure. Either way, he's just there to like RNG them, kind of pop off sometimes with evasion. He's a funny unit. I think he's cool. Didn't use... Oops. Excuse me. Didn't use this unit is toxic. Um, 245 speed, 150 effectiveness, and 100 ER. So she's there to be like kind of annoying. If someone AoEs, she cleanses a bit and gets skill. Oh, pretty decent character overall. I could increase effectiveness, but I don't think I need to. Solitaria. Didn't use. I wish I did. She is kind of like the same thing. A bit of effectiveness, mainly ER Solitaria, to be honest. There to be annoying. Sylvan Sage. She's on Chatty. She's on Lifesteal. Maxed out crit chance because I have a bunch of Vivians. I have enough to make a fully imprinted like green Vivian again. He's on Lifesteal. Could use a bit more crit, but it is what it is, right? Decent attack. Decent ER. I can maybe swap out the ER because she did get buffed. She got changed so that she's like immune or something, which means I can probably swap that out, to be honest. Yeah, I should probably do that. Decent buffs for this unit. Sometimes I would see her sometimes this season. Didn't use. Moon Bunny is on Eternatus. Yeah, I didn't really use her that often. Actually, I don't even know if Eternus is that good. I should stop upgrading it. Anyways. Yeah, I might have used her like once or twice. My character functions like really well against the C. Lilius. So if they ever pick C. Lilius, you kind of like stop them from S3ing, which pretty strong overall, I'd say. And yeah, that's basically it for my light units. Finally, the dark units. Melona. Sigurd Scythe. Unfortunately, don't have Golden Rose, I guess. She's on Lifesteal Pen. I think the superior build is either Destruction Pen if you have mitigation for her, or Counter Pen if you don't. Lifesteal's like a meme. But yeah, this unit's kind of fun to use sometimes. Pretty bulky for mine, I'd say. It could be better, for sure. Yeah, I didn't really use her too much, but she's good against AoE attacks. Not good against Moonlight Poultice and Elvira because of resource reduction and Fighting Spirit shenanigans. Moving on. Oh, hiccups. Anyways, moving on, I have my Holy Sack Eufine. She's on a very weird build, I'd say. I may have shown her before, but if I haven't, here she is. Destruction, defense set. So it's kind of funny how sometimes they would yield as soon as I get the S30 when I don't even have 2k defense, which is kind of funny. She's very bulky, 23k HP. If I do max her out, I calced it so that I would max her out, I would be just barely hitting the 2k range. But so far I've not really pulled any Eufines recently, so it is what it is. Very strong unit this season. Pick her, guys, or girls, whatever. Anyone, just pick her. She's pretty good. God tier unit. What can I say? I don't even know if his build's good. I just slapped glow wings on her. 285 speed, because this 23 speed, probably like my fastest speed gear. Like maybe I have like 1 or 2 pieces of that, of 23 speed. 285, just standard Poultice stuff. Just make her really fast, bit of bulk, bit of effectiveness. It is what it is. Archdemon, I may have accidentally picked her once. She's on counter Unity. She's there to seal and burn units. Mainly to seal, to be honest. You only pick her for her seal, but now that Knackwolf's here, you don't really need to pick her. I don't know what to say about her, really. Wish she could be better, but it is what it is. She's outdated. Tomoka. So they did change her imprint to crit chance. Beforehand, it was something else. Which is why this artifact would be way better. But now I'm hitting like 10% cap. I'm 10% over the cap, to be honest. Just a standard speed pen set. With some damage. Zeo. I remember seeing the Etika Scepter build in one of the Worlds games in Epic 7. So I decided to play it myself. And it's funny when it works. Excuse me. He's on effectiveness as well, just to like silence units. You don't really need crit chance, I think. You just need 50. As for speed, 260 would be the best, just to make sure you take first turn. I have lost first turn as Zeo, sometimes on 250, which is insane. But yeah, it is what it is. Work in progress. I've been kind of getting beat up by Requiem Ruano of Zio, so I do want my own. Didn't use. I don't think I used him, but here he is. Kawaric. So what I like to do is I like to get like 1 or 2 limited artifacts, and if I get any more, I kind of like imprint them. If not, I just leave them as is and try to bottle them. Just slowly build up, because like some of these limited units or limited artifacts are insane. Like, what the hell is this? I don't have Warhorn because I have it like on a different unit for hunting, so I have to use the next best thing, which is a limited artifact. I feel like he's a bit outdated compared to Laya. He does the same job. It's there to cleanse. It is what it is. I wanted a bruiser build, but I can't really afford to do that with him. Just for hunts. Pillis, I didn't use her. Arby. My Arby's on a funny build. Alexa's basket. I'm working on this. When revived, you gain attack by 30% and invasion by 50. Holy moly. Anyways, triple torrent build. So what I like doing is like I like picking him against Cleave, or like against Celine would be kind of funny, because then Celine would target him if he's like highest attack, or if the Celine's highest attack EE, because he has 5k attack by the way, and then he dies, he procs his S3, or he procs his S2, which pushes him up, then he S3s and just blows up the board. That's what I want from him at least. Bloodblade Karen. I used her a bit. Let's see. I don't really know which EEs are best for her. I think any of these are pretty decent. I have her on Bastion of Hope. This is a Torrent ER set. As you can see, I have about 166 ER. It's a decent amount. If enemies have like 100 ER or effectiveness, I'm kind of cooked. I'd say, wait, no, I get 70. They need 130, above 130, just to like debuff her. She performs like decently. 4k attack, 250 crit damage. It is what it is. Rylet. This character is funny. Oops. I have him on like free to play stuff, lifesteal. And then I have him on pen as well. Lifesteal pen. You don't have to go speed Rylet, but I opted for lifesteal. I'm an RNG guy, what can I say? Increase evasion. Yeah. Operator Cigarette, didn't use. Pirate Captain Flan. On the Summer Asaria artifact for bombs. You can see that like she's kind of speedy. But mainly, she has 216 effectiveness. You need 300, no. You need around 300 effect ER just to like not get debuffed, guaranteed. She is very just a bomb unit, stun units. Pretty good, or pretty fun unit overall. Didn't use. And last but not least, this toxic unit that I spammed. Wondrous Potion Ball actually like sometimes procced, and it was like it was feeling really good when it did. Um, Not too speedy, a bit bulky, bit bit of effectiveness. I've seen better builds like 240 speed at like around the same bulk with like more effectiveness. So probably you want to invest a lot into him. I did a decent amount of investment and he paid off extremely well. And yeah, that's my account. So hope you all have enjoyed watching, and maybe you too have way better gear than me, who knows, so you could easily hit above Challenger, or maybe you don't have your gear up to par, but you can see like a general stat guideline for like how I did things. I did mention if there's a meme unit or not, so yeah. Overall, hope you all just continue farming Rift and stuff. I'll probably do that right now. Actually, I'll probably do Spirit Altars. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a great one, and see you all next season. Bye-bye.